Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome to Popdust on Record. My name's Jay Phillips here with Inji, and we're really excited.
Hey, y'all.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I know you've had a chaotic start with the earthquake in LA, but other than that, how are we doing?
We're doing fantastic. I've been out here in LA for a week doing rehearsals because my tour starts literally tomorrow. So it's super high energy. We've been having a great time. Tour is kind of like the reward you get for doing all the work you do. So I'm really excited.
Exactly. And I know I'm sure, do you have any jitters or anything for the tour, or are you just kind of ready?
Absolutely, I do. I'm so nervous, but I know every artist feels a bit differently about performing, but my reason I want to do what I want to do is being on stage, touring and performing part of it all. It's my favorite thing on earth. So I'm really excited.
Yeah, no, that's super exciting. And I know one of your songs, Gaslight, was a huge mega viral hit. Are you more excited to perform that live than kind of the feedback that you've been getting, or how did you feel kind of recording that song?
I guess I'll have to give you kind of the story of Gaslight to explain that, because I recorded that song as a joke. I wasn't an artist. It was the first song I ever put out. It was me and my college friends messing around basically in our dorm rooms, kind of as a joke. Gaslight was born. So recording that, I was just hanging out with my friends. We recorded it in my dorm room with my little dorm mic in a sports bra, and then it did things that we never thought it could do. Yeah, but recording it, I was just messing around.
I think that's the best possible outcome from something you're kind of just messing around with your friends. And you were going to UPenn, right?
Yeah, I was at UPenn at the time. I was studying finance. I was on a completely different path. And I'm Turkish. I'm from Istanbul, born and raised, and I came to the US with the dream of I need to go to a great school. I need to go to an Ivy League, and then I'll get one of the big jobs in New York in a 50th floor kind of thing, and do banking or consulting. That was the goal. That was the dream. That's what I had set out for. And I liked it. Don't get me wrong. That was also enjoyable to me, and it was kind of like a divine intervention for the universe to be like, nope, you're doing this now. So yeah, the music career part came totally out of nowhere. The music didn't come out of nowhere. I'd been a musician my whole life, but just not in this way.
So when you were just making music with your friends, how did you end up kind of just deciding to release it? And then what happened afterwards, with Gaslight?
Even how we ended up making Gaslight was a total coincidence. So when I say music wasn't new to me, I was a classical pianist my whole life. And then it kind of became jazz singing. So my interest in music was all those genres. Jazz, I did a lot of choral stuff, and I did classical music. And I had this little jazz band at Penn, and we'd go do little gigs at frats when they had date nights and stuff. And through that jazz band, a substitute drummer one day, jazz drummer, was like, hey, I make beats. Come hang out in my room. And I was like, oh, okay, what's a beat? I'll come check it out. He gives me a beat called House Beat 120. That was the beat that ended up becoming Gaslight. It was the first song we made, which is kind of crazy. I take the beat to the rapper at UPenn. There was a guy with a Spotify. He was really cute. So I wanted to involve him and ask hey, can you teach me how to write a song? I have this beat. The whole coming together of this is electronic music and there's rapping on it and there's singing on it was a total coincidence. The producer ended up giving me a house beat, and I ended up going to a rapper who put a rap over it. It was wild. It was out of nowhere. The reason why we decided to put it out was, again, so unrelated. I usually don't go into this much detail, but I will because you asked.
It's great.
I was at the time because I was going to business school. I was trying to start this entrepreneurship organization, and I was the president of the organization, but I had no entrepreneurial pursuits, so I felt like a fake out. So I was I need to do something. I need to start a project. One of my friends encouraged me, you know what, I'm giving you a deadline, try to put out a song in blah 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 6 months. So that's why we were okay, let's put this out, let's make an artist project. So it all came out of like this little random joke, basically. We post a TikTok, which went a bit viral, and that was kind of the era of like viral TikToks mattered so much. And like, by the way, when this TikTok goes viral, I have 30 followers. I don't have the artist name yet. Like, my profile picture is me as a baby. And when it worked, we were just like, okay, let's just go after this, because it was such an important time in like the music industry for TikTok. It was like when a TikTok viral song was doing like platinum. I met every label on the face of earth like week one. There isn't even a song out yet. There's no Spotify profile, and like these people are like putting deals in front of me, being like, "Yeah, sign it. You don't need a lawyer. Like, what? Who needs a lawyer? There's money here." So it kind of like totally shifted my focus to like, holy shit, there might be something here. Let's go after it. Yeah, and that was junior year of college, and then thank God I didn't drop out. I graduated, and then now we're here 2 years later.
Yeah, I'm from like the Philadelphia area, so I'm super familiar with UPenn and like the culture there and everything. So like the jazz band was super fun at the parties too. Like, that's awesome, and such a good pickup line. Like, to be like, "Hey, can you help me write my song?"
Right? Yeah. So, fun fact: he is still my boyfriend at work. He's like the guy who's sitting next to me in all the videos. A lot of people know him.
Love
the guy.
that.
But that was the pickup line. I was like, "Hey, like, do you wanna please help me write this song?" Like, and I think it's so like the song is about shitting on another male ex. So I'm glad he didn't run away from me. It's a very psychopathic song.
Well, like, it's also a banger though. Like, you two work super well together. So what an awesome like deal that you got out of it. Like, started your music career, you got a boyfriend out of it. Like, that's best case scenario.
It was. I'm glad I met him. His artist name is Heist with a dollar sign. But yeah, and I always say it's. I think if I had sat down and been like, oh, I'm gonna start an artist project, like this is the name, this is the vision, I think it wouldn't have worked, because I probably would have thought too much about like, what are other people gonna like? Who can I copy? But this music came so out of us messing around, thinking no one's gonna hear it. Like, this is just, we're just messing up. That I think it had that magic, like, that people stuck to.
Yeah, definitely. I do love like how carefree it is. And speaking to your new EP, We Good too. Like, it's so carefree, fun loving, upbeat, but also like just independent, and like really just makes you want to like be a girl boss, basically. Like, just be on your own and all of that. So I think it's all great. But like, as a woman predominantly in a male field with EDM and house music and all of that, has that taught you anything about yourself as like an artist or how you make your music?
I feel like there's a lot to say on that topic, and it's all been stuff I'm just learning. Like, a lot of things I've heard about like glass ceilings and women like being disadvantaged in the workplace, da da da. I like didn't really believe it until I started seeing it firsthand. The field, yeah, EDM is kind of bizarre, where I feel like if you're a woman in EDM, you're kind of like disregarded immediately. Assume, oh, the male on the song like produced it and he's where the deal's at, and like the vocalist, just the vocalist, I don't care, like she's just saying some stuff. And even I'm guilty of that. Like Ray, before her incredible album, I'm a mega fan. I had already been a fan, but I didn't know it was her. I was like, what a good Jax Jones song. Like, this tune slap. Yeah. Didn't even realize it was her, which is just unfair of me and a lot of people who are guilty, I think. So we try to be very careful with, I want to do everything to not be seen as that or be disregarded in the making of the music. So we stayed away from a lot of features. I like would go and DJ my own music, because there's also not that many female DJs. And I tried to put, a lot of dance music has like kind of emptier lyrics because it's more about like the production and just making you dance. I was so careful with putting stories and stuff people could connect to into the song, so they would care about who is singing the song. I mean, eventually the goal is like when an Inji song comes on, you can be like, that's her. Like, I know that personality, I know that character. I don't think that's a vocalist I haven't heard of. So it's been a lot of things to think about, just being in the EDM space. It does also kind of make it fun because like it's a boys club and you're like a little girl in pink, and you know there's something enjoyable about it. You get a lot of attention.
Right.
And then in the music industry in general, one of the things I really noticed when I first started coming out to LA and like just socializing with people here in the industry, and this is what the song on the EP is about, called Sexy Forever. I realized that there was this extreme pressure on women about time and aging, so much more than it was on men. Almost always, because you get very deep in songwriting sessions, almost always in sessions, other female artists or songwriters would express like, oh, like I have to lie about my age to be taken seriously, or like, I'm not even going to tell you I'm so old. And they'd be like 30. There's this expectation that if you're a girl, you have to be a superstar before you turn 20. And if not, you kind of lost your chance at that point because you have a wrinkle. No one's going to look at a woman with a wrinkle. I'd never really thought about that before. So the music industry made me feel late and old as a recent college grad. Like I was like, oh no, why did I go to college? Why didn't I start when I was 15 and quit high school? It almost made me feel bad for like getting an education. And it really bothered me. It created so much anxiety on me too, to feel like, oh, like these labels probably won't take me seriously because I'm nearing the age where it's kind of my limit. Like I'm not going to be hot and tiny and sexy forever. And then I was like, you know what? Actually, I will be. So then I wrote the song to make myself feel better.
No, I think literally, I'm not even lying when I say this, like the entire EP I'd listen to on my own, like with my friends. I think it's a great pregame, like pick me up type deal.
Thanks.
And so I really do love the music. And what was it like working with Nile Rodgers on Sexy Forever too? Because he's just obviously such an icon in music, and I could go on, but
oh my God. To this day, I cannot believe it. I'm losing my mind. Anytime I think about it, I got to make dance music with the founder of dance music, the person who would like invent.
Literally.
So we met in the context of he, as like a legend, was interviewing artists of different statures, and I was the baby. Like I had 2 songs out. I was like a little, hello, I'm in college, help me. And it was like for an ad, but we ended up having a really great conversation that day because we were on set all day together. And I think he took interest in me. I was a young woman. I was from a different country. He was just so caring, and I don't know. He was just one of the most unbelievable people I've met. Like I would literally say Nile Rodgers is the reason I got my visa to come live in the US. Like he's literally been so helpful all throughout my career through this one random connection. And then with Sexy Forever, I'd say that inspiration for the song was also literally partly Niall, because he's been in the game for decades and decades, and he's touring the world like a 30-year-old. He's like a young adult in his heart. And before even like the thinking about the industry, that was so inspiring. Like I was just like immediately, I want to be like that when I'm age. Like I want to be nothing less than that. I want to be in a sparkly blazer with my Chanel sunglasses, and I want to be in Santiago, like doing a big tour.
Absolutely.
The song kind of was inspired by him, and you can kind of tell it's very funky. And then when I showed it to him, he loved it, and I was just like, I can't believe this is happening. But now it is.
Yeah, no, that must be such like an accomplishment feeling too, like working with somebody who's so reveled in the industry and like such a legend, and then they love you back. Like it's just, once you become friends like that, it's super cool.
It's crazy to me. I broke the news to my dad, and I think he had a heart attack.
I would have too, seriously. I've told everybody, been like, I'm working with Nile Rodgers, like hear me.
Lucky girl.
Definitely. So when you were like sitting down to write your EP and kind of produce it and everything, I know it must have felt so different compared to like making Gaslight and like kind of just doing that in school compared to like, how was that with We Good?
Yeah, well, it was completely different. The trio that made Gaslight and the next few songs, they graduated year before me, so they were gone.
Mhm.
And I was kind of left to like, how do I make this music? So about like a year and a half ago, I started coming out to LA to start like playing the game here and doing the sessions, which has been the most incredible opportunity of my life, but it has equally been challenging. It's impossible to go from writing with your two best friends, laughing at everything you say, to going to a room full of like people or the older than you, people really successful, and you're like this little college kid, and you're like, hello, like I have this idea for a song. Impossible. I would shut down in some sessions. I would not let any of my personality show. I ended up writing a lot of boring songs because I was just thinking like, what sentence can I say that I think everyone in this room would like? So I'd be like, I love you and roses are blue. That actually didn't make any sense, but I would just make a lot of boring songs. So it was kind of challenging getting to this EP, and the songs that ended up being on it were all made in those very rare, okay, like I feel completely like these kids are my besties rooms. It's entirely almost with people I've worked with before and people I became friends with. It's like my first session with people, I'm like, I'm so sorry. I feel like I'm not going to be able to do anything today. Like, I'll see you in session 5 when we're best friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, 2 of the songs. So I was here for this like super big, like 8-week writing trip to work on the EP. And I wrote 2 out of the 5 songs on like the very last day. Like on the very last week, on one day. We did a great session. I was so energetic. So at like 10 p.m., I called up my favorite friends in Atlanta. Was like, let's make something, and then made another one. It's bizarre. Writing is a really interesting thing because you never know when it's going to come out of you. You feel a lot of doubt. You're like, oh, that idea was great that I came up with 2 years ago, but can I ever come up with anything funny ever again? So it was definitely challenging, but it's also the best thing in the world.
I definitely relate to like the writing aspect. I mean, obviously I'm not writing songs or making music, but like with the continuing to create something new after you've like done this type of music or this type of writing before, like how to stay inspired and continue to navigate all of that is definitely difficult. You're doing a great job with it, 100%, because this music sounds fresh. It still sounds like Inji, but it's also something completely new for you. And you said, I know that EDM, like you wanted people to listen to the lyrics because like that's normally not something that people do. Like what was your approach when you were making the EP to get people to listen to the lyrics?
Yeah. Well, I just like to clarify, we say EDM, but this isn't really EDM.
Yeah.
Like I think a general umbrella dance pop makes sense. Like it's pop music that you can dance to. It has a lot of electronic music influences, but you can't even really like play these songs really as a DJ. Like you have to make EDM. So I think from the very beginning, the only songs I felt close to putting out, again, we asked the question, are the lyrics shocking the audience at some point? I want them to react. I want them to either laugh, either be like, what the heck did she just say? Or I want to create the feeling of like, I want to know who the heck is in my ears right now. Like, who is this character? I want to see what she looks like. For example, I recently had that with Doechii a few songs ago. A song came on, I didn't know her, and I was like, who is talking right now? I need to know who this woman is. She's fantastic. That's kind of the approach. Like I asked myself that question, am I doing something different? Am I shocking the audience in some way? Are these lyrics that could become an Instagram caption? Are they sticky like that? And if it's not, if it's lyrics I've heard before in another song, that song's probably not coming out.
Right.
Yeah, so it's always like a push and pull, and I can be so annoying because of that reason in a writing session, because people will be coming up with really beautiful poetic ideas, and then I'm just like, love you, but no, heard it, been there, done that, let's find something crazy.
100%. I like that. I like the plan of shocking people. And we kind of touched on it earlier, but you're about to kick off on your tour, which is so exciting. What songs are you most excited to perform live?
All of them.
I know it's hard. Like it's really hard to pick.
I'll give you an answer, but I just want to say I've been having like the most emotional experience of my life. Just the fact that this tour is coming to life is surreal. It's everything I want to do with my life. I cry every day. I swear to God, I like go into a corner and I'm like, I can't believe this is happening, because it's just the most beautiful feeling I think you can get, that you wrote some lyrics and people like them so much that they want to like take an evening out and listen live. So throughout the whole show, my heart is like just exploding with happiness. But some songs that go really hard, it's actually unexpected, I think, what songs go the hardest live. The song Madeline, which was my second song, which I think is my most unhinged song of all time. I like cringe listening to it. I'm like, who do you think you are? Where's this coming from? That one goes so hard. I think it touches something in people's hearts. I think people enjoy letting go and being that ridiculous for a second with me. I love performing the song Bored. Weirdly, it's not one of my big songs, but people go crazy for it usually. And then obviously the Sexy Forever, the new song that's coming out. That's just a special song for me overall because it's doing so many new things for my career. For the first time, I'm singing my butt off. It's a song that has, I think, very deep and meaningful lyrics, or at least they are to me. We're actually talking about a societal issue. Like none of my songs really did that before. They were more lighthearted. And it's not, this is a song that's definitely not EDM anymore. We're in like pop territory, and we're like full out song. We're singing, we're belting territory. So I'm really excited to sing that. I think totally fair assumption because my career started randomly and because it started in a lot of dance music where I'm just like talking on the mic. A lot of people like thought like, oh, like Inji might not be like this good musician. We don't even know if she can sing, but I have this crazy background of like 15 years of crazy musical experience, a lot of it in jazz singing. So I'm excited to slowly show that into the world. Like I get the reaction of like, I didn't realize you could sing. Like I didn't realize you were a good vocalist a lot, which is totally fine. But I'm excited to kind of show that side too. So, and the show is getting more and more live because I didn't want to do DJing really. And I wanted the show to be the most special thing in the world. So we're now a band playing with the electronic music, and Sexy Forever is probably the most live song. Like it's just totally live. So I think that one's gonna go hard.
Yeah, I think that'll be so fun, like getting a whole band and like the DJ aspect incorporated. Like it's just bringing all that music together is going to be amazing. Do you have any like tour must-haves when you go that you need to bring?
Yeah. So weird fact, but I'm narcoleptic, which means I sleep all the time, everywhere, which is great for tour. Like it's like the thing you do for tour. So I have a pillow and eye mask that I could literally sleep right here, and I need to get a lot of sleep. So I want to show you, but I don't want you to see my PJ pants. I also brought someone gave me the tip of like one of the biggest things you struggle with on tour is not being at home. So bring something that feels like home. So I have this little bunny teddy bear. I'm just gonna bring it to you.
Yeah, why not?
Support it. Okay, I'm coming. So this is my bunny. Out of Build-A-Bear with my dad when I first left home to like go to school. So he like put his, it doesn't play anymore, but he put his voice in there saying like, hey, press this button whenever you feel lonely and you will hear your dad's voice. So this little guy's my must-have.
I love that. No, I totally understand that. I have like 6 stuffed animals, so if I ever like went on tour, that would be mine too.
It's really important. It makes me feel so like it's kind of like a pet, but you can't bring a pet on.
Exactly, your emotional support. I feel like, yeah, I never thought of that, like bringing something that feels like home, because definitely it can get long and I'm sure missing home. But one final question. One of your main inspirations I hear is actually Amy Winehouse, which might like shock people if they don't know you. But since you have that jazzy background and everything, it's totally makes sense. What are some of your favorite Amy songs?
My favorite all time is I Heard Love is Blind, which is a deep cut. And it's kind of like just on guitar and she's singing. It's very jazzy. The chords are all over the place. She's going crazy. And the reason I love it so much is, well, and this is the reason why Amy is my number one inspiration is, one, her lyrics are out of this world. This woman is the best writer I've ever heard. She says things in a way you've never heard them before, but you know the exact feeling. She's so unhinged. Like You need to read some of her lyrics. She puts in the most heart-wrenching songs, she'll put like jokes and like puns in there. It's crazy. And this song has it's written from a really interesting perspective. It's she like cheated on her partner but is not really apologetic. She's like, "What did you expect? You left me here alone and he looks like you. But I heard love is blind." I don't know, it just really spoke to me.
Yeah.
And then also the second reason being her performance of everything. It's new every time she performs, which is totally jazz. She has no boundaries in how she performs a song. I don't think she like thinks this is the melody and I should sing it. She recreates it every time. And there's so much soul and emotion in all of her performances that I strive to be like her always. I try to put passion into the lyrics and the performance as much as Amy did. Yeah, definitely my biggest inspiration.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love Amy, and I love the like soul she puts into every performance. It could be like not even a song that could be jazzy and soulful, and she'll take it and make it like devastatingly amazing.
Yeah.
I definitely agree. And that is actually all we have today for you. So thank you so much, and I wish you all the luck on tour.
Thank you. Thanks so much for listening.